When I'm walking down the street.
I do want to say to Doni and many of you in this room that over a very long career in this city, all of you have helped me and my colleagues tell the truth and to try to tell.
I may not look like you and you me, but
my head up.
I'm South Carolina, so I just.
What does this event mean to you, Miss Peggy Moss?
Oh, my heart.
Happy 20th anniversary.
My heart is about loving up on my sisters. Do you know what it feels like to have your sisters in the room? Done.
And that'll be different and unique. I'm gonna be the best me I can be by letting His glory shine through. I am beautiful, I am blessed, but not just what you see in the flesh. I'm free from people, free from myself.
The doctor lived next door to the janitor to the reverend and the lawyer. We were together. Now we get so high and mighty that you create stress for your society because you don't like poor black folks anymore. That's a health problem. Get yourself together so I can stop being taking care of geriatric people and get back to pediatrics. I thank you, Doni, for all you've done. Let's keep doing it all the more.
Letting His glory shine through. That'll be you, that'll be me, that'll be different and unique. I'm gonna be the best me I can be by letting His glory shine through. And I dare you, I dare you, I dare you to be you.
First name's Doni, last name's Glover. Entered the winning for the long haul, baby. Let's get to the get down. Had a little bit of technical challenges there, but we are here. Dewan Chambers, Central Maryland Chamber. How are you, sir?
Living the dream, Doni. Thank you so much for having me. Thanks for all you do, man. Excited to talk today.
Good, good. Tell me about the Central Maryland Chamber. I knew of the Greater Baltimore Black Chamber, the Baltimore City Chamber. I know that the U.S. Black Chamber, Ron Busby, and some other groups, they created a Maryland Black Chamber, but this is the Central Maryland Chamber. What's that about?
Yes, sir. First off, thanks for asking. And I was prefacing by saying I'm the first Black president CEO for the Central Maryland Chamber. And back in 2017, there was a merger between the Baltimore-Washington corridor and then the West Anne Arundel County Chamber. So they merged to create the Central Maryland Chamber. And so we are the only regional chamber that covers 7 counties plus Baltimore City. And so, in short, we cover 2.8 million residents here in the great state of Maryland.
Wow. And how does it feel to be the first Black president? I mean, they call you Obama on the slide.
Man, I'm honored, right? And I'm able to do this from, my ancestors and my great grandparents who, and other legends and mentors that have sown into me. And now I have the opportunity to stand on their shoulders and lead with integrity, lead with compassion, but most importantly, lead with innovation, creative ways to get businesses involved, to help businesses scale, and to be a conduit for commerce.
So what are you sharing? What's your message to members now? We got a new president, Donald J. Trump. Half the country loves him. The other half doesn't. I know you have to stay out of politics, but what is your message to your businesses?
My message to my businesses are more than ever, it is important to be with a chamber that is big on advocacy. And so when I say advocacy, specifically, I mean your local and state levels, because, we got all that's going on in the news, but the real impact is locally and for the state perspective. And I'm so excited because our chamber is actually hosting a Meet the Candidates in actually partnership with the Prince George's Chamber of Commerce and the Prince George's Hispanic Chamber for that county executive seat in Prince George's. So highly recommend businesses. This is your time now to be involved with chambers that are big in the advocacy so that it's not if legislation is going to affect your business or your industry, but when it does, you have a strong chamber that's there to go and combat, to go and battle for you and lobby for pro-business issues.
So let's get your counties down. What counties are a part of the chamber?
Sure. Anne Arundel County, Baltimore City, Baltimore County, Harford County, Carroll County, Montgomery County, Howard County, and Prince George's County.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty powerful. How many members do you have?
So currently we're about 400 members, but I really see that growing soon. I started 2024 in May. So from 2024 May to December, I brought in 55 new members. In 2023 alone, prior to me coming for the entire year, our chamber had only brought in 50 new members. So in 7 months, I brought on more than they did in the whole year. January now to date, 2025, we've already had 10 new members join. So people are seeing it. They're getting energized, but it's really because I've tried to make it really simple for businesses to grow. When they join, I say, hey, who's your ideal customer client? What is your goal for joining? And then we try to make sure in the first 90 days that we help them reach that goal.
So what's your background, Dewan?
Thank you for asking. I've been in the chamber industry now for over 10 years. And so I'm a change management expert in the chamber industry. And so in Houston, Texas, I was there taking chambers from debt to financial solvency. And so got blessed with the opportunity to now come to Central Maryland. Outside of the chamber world, I'm an author. So I have a book called The Next Generation of Nonprofit Leadership. And so I do a lot of consulting with nonprofits. I have certifications in fundraising leadership, nonprofit leadership through Texas A&M. And so really just all things, associations, nonprofit organizations that want to have an impact. That's what I'm here to do. That's my calling. And quite frankly, why I've been so blessed in this industry.
Where are you from?
I'm from Little Rock, Arkansas. So from Little Rock, Arkansas, I know you've heard of Little Rock 9, and so from Little Rock, Arkansas.
Excelsior Hotel too.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that hotel is so.
I've been to Little Rock.
Good, yeah.
A little different than Baltimore.
Still a little bit, but very kind of similar. But it's a lot of similarity, but just a little different. That's why I feel at home here.
They shut down early out there, Dewan.
Yeah, I do. It's like
it's 8 o'clock.
You need to be inside. What the parents say, don't let the street lights catch you.
But there's a lot of history there. How did it feel growing up with that type of historical background? I mean, I'm thinking about Central High School.
Yeah. No, it was great. We even had African-American studies back then. So really feeling very close to our ancestors was huge. I had hardworking parents where, they had me. I had a job at 14, cutting grass. So they instilled hard work efforts with me and was blessed. I was like a sports athlete all my life too. So I actually went on to college playing Division I basketball at the University of Central Arkansas. And that's part of my mission too, because I told myself I always want to have good grades so that if I don't make it to the NBA or the next level like everybody thinks, then I should be able to get a job that I can support my family. And so glad that my parents instilled hard work effort into me early.
Well, did you know that last week on the show, we had an attorney discussing a $2 billion NIL lawsuit, name, image, likeness lawsuit for Division I athletes who played basketball and football between 2016 and 2024. There's money out there right now, but they have to file in the next 2 days. The story is on Be More News. Are you familiar with that?
I am, and I know I look a little young, but yeah, I finished school in 2012.
I
I missed it.
No,
I missed it just
I
a
ain't give
little
you a young buck card. No, I knew you wasn't there.
I missed it by a few years,
But it's still nonetheless a sign of the times we live in.
Yeah, I agree.
Athletes now are getting paid in college.
Yeah, and I'm on two sides of the fence of that. One, do they deserve it? Yes, because the school district is making all that money. But two, like, what are the repercussions from that, right? Like, you're now in your teens making millions of dollars, like, how is that mentally, affecting them? How is that maybe deterring them from where they could have been because you're having the most money you ever had? Sometimes that fame and stuff can go to your head, I think it was one young brother, I think maybe from Florida. He just got a DWI, hit somebody, killed himself. Now he's gonna miss his chance going to the league. It's just so many other factors with that type of money and fame that brings on to someone at such a young age. And if you're not mature enough, that could really take your life on a detour.
Find a way for them to learn how to handle the money.
Yeah.
Currently, an NFLer at the age of 30, someone who played in the NFL, to my understanding, 5-7 years, by age of 30, they're broke.
See?
With the current system.
Yeah. And I mean, that has to go with, financial literacy, right? Family members always reaching out, want to do a handout, keeping up with the Joneses, trying to buy the new cars, not having a saving plan, no rainy day funds. So I think
don't get me started on black athletes.
Yeah.
I mean, we are honest on this show. I realize you represent all peoples. In the chamber, I would imagine you have white people, black people, Latino people. So let's just keep it 100. But some people, and you're talking about nouveau riche, newly rich people.
Yeah.
A lot of times their families did not have that money, or at least their current generation.
True.
Because I do believe, at least in our community, we are descendants of people who had a lot of something in them. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here in this current state. But be that as it may, nouveau riche can bring on challenges, but it requires a support system.
Yeah. Amen to that.
I see in our community, for instance, we're buying things. I don't know if you saw the Ravens, and I'm just going to say it because we keep it 100 on the show. I'm seeing Lamar grilled up.
Yeah, he definitely got the grill. Right.
Save that, buddy.
Yeah.
Save that for after you win.
That part.
You ain't won nothing yet. You ain't beat Mahomes yet. You ain't beat the champ.
Right. Yeah.
Allen Iverson, no slight. But tattoos everywhere. That's fine. Tattoos your thing. I got you. Now you see tattoos all on the face, or the expensive jewelry.
Yeah, there's so many football players doing that.
Playing with expensive jewelry on.
Yeah.
Or hair, a lot of hair. And maybe I'm just that old school. I'll be 60 this year.
Man, you looking good for 60, Donnie.
To God be the glory. But, dress how you want. I'm just old school. Cut your damn hair. It's football. We're about one thing, and that's winning. And as far as buying outlandish things, we buy these things. Who's the cat down in Florida? He got pulled over on the training on the training facility in Florida for speeding. There's this entitlement mentality.
Yeah.
We bring trouble, and I'm just saying, I've seen a lot of times white boys get a fat contract. First thing he buys is mama house, and he buy a pickup truck.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm not saying he comes from a rich background. I'm just saying some common sense. So that financial literacy, and it even speaks to public education.
Sure.
What are we teaching our children?
Yeah.
And that's why I thank you for being a part of the upcoming Black Wall Street Expo. We're going to have our second Black Wall Street Youth Awards.
Nice.
And it's open to all young people.
Nice.
All young people, any race. It's Black Wall Street. But just like the adult awards we give to anybody, any race, we celebrate Black entrepreneurs and professionals, as well as the people who support them regardless of race.
Nice. Nice.
These
Let me tell you, that thing you did was powerful. The first one you did with the Black Wall Street I attended was powerful. I mean, being able to sow back into that next generation, letting them know, look, we see you, and then letting their parents, see that, man, it was powerful. I appreciate you allowing me to be a part of it. And just thank you for all the great things you're doing in the community. Like, it really makes a difference.
Well, thank you for taking a chance. I mean, we met on a humble at the Mayor's Greater Baltimore Committee event honoring local businesses, including Dr. Clayborn's wife and partner, Jean Hamilton, who was unable to make it. So we met at a business event, and I commend you for taking a chance. You had no idea who I was.
Yeah, but I could tell you're a leader in the community. So, I don't take it lightly. I call it favor connections. God strategically puts people in your life for certain reasons during the time. And I definitely know that you're one of those favor connections, the way you just been able to plug me in, introduce me to people, and just really welcome me on into your family. So I don't take that lightly. So I just want to publicly say I appreciate you, Doni.
Well, you're out there serving, and you're in a unique role. We love business. We understand at Be More News, at Black USA, we understand that business is the backbone of any community.
Yes, sir.
And to learn about your chamber, I mean, again, I'm familiar with the Prince George's Black Chamber, the Baltimore City Black Chamber, the Baltimore City Chamber, and some other chambers. But to see such a young man involved in chamber work, that's very important to me. And it's very important that you know about Be More News, Black USA, because a lot of times we're advocating in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
We're not the Baltimore Banner or the Baltimore Sun.
Mm-hmm.
We come from a Black media perspective.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we have to counter some of the news that is put forth by entities that don't reflect our community as well, at least from my perspective.
Yeah, and I think that's great. And, I think part of my calling as well, being like God blessing me with this platform, is to educate Black and brown people about a chamber, and I'm not knocking any other chamber presidents, but like from my credentials down, like my certifications, all the way to my over a decade of experience in chamber industry, I bring a unique way of allowing businesses, one, to fill in, like to feel welcome, but then also to create opportunities where funds exchange hands, no matter what color you are. And so when you do that, you have a diverse group of industries, business owners, not only are you able to grow, but you're able to solve some of the toughest issues and problems that face a community, a region, or a state.
Do you run a business?
Yeah, I actually got a couple of them. More so again consulting for the nonprofits, the associations, things like that. Public speaking. That's why I got my book, The Next Generation of Nonprofit
Do you have
Leadership.
it with you?
I actually got a copy maybe in my truck. It's not on me. But I got a website, www.dewanclayborn.com. I got a whole website with my book, different packages that I offer to different organizations.
How long have you had your own business?
2017. Yeah, so I've been doing a lot of this work in Houston. So I was in Houston the last 12 years, and so that's what I'm saying. A lot of this I've been doing for over a decade, and so now I'm excited to expand to the Baltimore region, to Maryland, and now to have an impact here.
See, it's kind of hard for some of us to respect a business leader if they don't have a business.
Mm.
How can you advocate for something you have no idea about?
Yeah, no, good point. And my caveat to that would be,
Not that you can't.
no, right. But just to position myself to help people understand my unique skill set. I go typically to organizations that are in debt. So I go in betting on myself, knowing that we're payroll to payroll. And so knowing that I can take my skill set, implement, structure financial solvency, create additional streams of revenue to then make an organization solve it. So really, when I go to these organizations, I'm going in as a business owner trying to just make payroll to eventually being able to scale. So I relate directly with business owners because if I'm not making money, I'm losing money.
Again, it's called the therapeutic value of one business owner helping another. It's hard to help someone when you have no idea of what it's like to not make payroll, to not be able to pay your employees. You have to pay your employees first,
Right,
before you can take a profit. You got to pay your expenses first.
Mm-hmm.
You still got to take care of home.
Right,
You got a spouse, you got to take care of that. You got children, you got to take care of that. And all they know is the lights are not on.
right,
Or they've never had that experience. All they know is that the lights are on.
yeah, exactly.
Which is much better. And I say that because I remember as a child, I remember the lights. My dad had a business, funeral home. And there was a time or two somebody missed the payment or what have you, and the lights out for a minute. Till the next day, what have you. I don't know if anybody else out there has had that experience.
Oh,
and
yes.
I've seen a little funny money before. You don't know about funny money, do you?
I know about some funny money. Yeah.
I've had to wait till everybody leave the store,
Right.
slide that little funny money out. Wasn't long, but I've ridden in limos, but I've seen the funny money too.
Yeah. Nah, man, everything is real. That's real life. And what it gets me to really thinking about is, just this next generation. Like even Gen Zs and the Gen Ys, like even the kids now, they're connected to these iPads, iPhones, like not even knowing how to communicate effectively, articulate what they want to do. So it really makes me even think about the next generation and what are they going to do when they're hit with challenges?
You know what? You've just given me an idea. You ain't ready for this.
Come on with it.
We need a youth chamber of commerce.
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
If we're serious about the next generation, And right now, because don't think I wasn't getting to Annapolis.
Yeah, yeah.
Right now is the Maryland General Assembly for 90 days, mid-January, mid-April.
Yep.
And I've seen the regular faces there.
Right.
And I've seen the end result. I've seen people acting like they're advocating for the people, but they're really just advocating for their own consulting business.
Right. Right.
We talk about the next generation. We talk about the children are the future. Where's the children's chamber, the youth chamber of commerce? Not saying it's an easy idea, but I just wonder how serious are we about our young people? Because in Baltimore, the young people think we're stiffing.
Yeah.
They think politicians are full of it. We got 21st century schools, but we have a lack of recreation centers, particularly where they are needed. So maybe it's time for something different. Maybe instead of investing in football stadiums and baseball stadiums, maybe we need to invest more into our young people. You know, table gambling, sports gambling, that came about with the promise of more money for education. Don't get me started. So I see we can renovate the Ravens Stadium and we can renovate Camden Yards, but we still got high schools.
Wow.
Without heat. You haven't seen that, have you?
I mean, maybe once in Little Rock, but that goes back to my point. Now more than ever, it's important to get engaged with the local politics. You know, meeting with your county executives, your mayors, your county councils. That's why you got to have an impact now locally and on a state level. But those are where the decisions are being made, whether we're aware of it or not.
We see Byron Deese has chimed in. Byron, I'm going to put the link in your email. Maybe you'll come and just. Have you met Byron Deese?
I don't think I met Byron.
Byron, come on in and say hello to Dewan. Dewan, you're going to be running a panel discussion for us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
At the Black Wall Street Expo coming up on February
8th.
God, it's coming so fast. February 22nd.
Yeah, I got to get everybody in our group email.
So, tell us what's come about thus far. Your discussion.
Yeah. So I mean, it's been really great discussion. You know, as we see across the entire U.S. where there's the dismantling of DEI programs. You know, equity when we're talking about procurement projects, just all across the world. Where does that leave us? Where does that leave business owners? How is that going to affect your industry? So really just want to have a lot of generative conversations from a diverse group of panelists about where they see currently or where they see the future is going as we look at different contracts, DEI, and just really equal opportunity across the spectrum.
Yeah. Civil rights, DEI is being gutted.
Mm-hmm.
And those who cannot survive will fall by the wayside. Yeah.
I was actually on the Baltimore Business Journal economic outlook panel last week. And we didn't touch on that exactly. However, I let them know that, I just highly encourage people to embrace change. The word of the year for 2020, 2021, 2022 is pivot. But really, you have to embrace the change. Look at this as an opportunity to upskill, reskill, learn a new craft, learn a new trade, be resilient, have that growth mindset, not a fixed mindset, really, learn be open to learning new things, and that will allow you to be even more successful and not only survive but end up thriving.
You know, change is scary. Change can be frightening.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
We tend to resist change.
Mm. Mm.
I'll tell you something that I see.
Okay.
That while there's this onslaught of DEI programs, this onslaught, this gutting of historic civil rights legislation, baby, oh baby, there's a thing called spiritual warfare.
Boy.
What's happening in this country
That's exactly what's happening.
spiritually
Yeah.
affects or disaffects everybody. See, in our limited thinking, we come to believe that what's happening in that community has no impact on our community. We come to believe that what they're doing next door has no impact on us.
Yeah.
When we think of the violence, the January 6 people who have been freed and let back on the streets, we come to think, oh, wow, Donald Trump is building an army of people. Unless you are a trained assassin with no family, do you really want to be in that business? Anyway, I don't want to get too far away from where I'm going.
Yeah. But on that, before our brother jumps in, you know what I tell my wife and family about is I call it 4D. We have to go to 4D, fourth dimension, because the things that are seen are temporary. The things that are unseen are eternal. And so it really starts with the words, right? Like speaking life, not death. And so, yeah, we are in a spiritual warfare, you know, but faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things unseen. So it might seem bad, but you still have to have that faith that it's going well. And even when it is going bad, you have to speak that life. And so what this really is going on, because we're on this earth and all these things are spiritual, we really should take our time to tap into our spirit and combat these things, these spiritual warfares with our spirit. Like you have to attack everything spiritually. All this natural carnal, people gonna be stressed. They're gonna blood. It's gonna affect them, you know. But don't get me preaching here. But since you took it there about spiritual warfare, I can.
This is spiritual warfare, huh, Byron?
And you guys are speaking my language right now. So that was just, you hit the nail on the head, man. And Brother Clayborn, it's so good to meet you and hear all the great work that you're doing, man. It's this particular time that we're in right now, the combination of one, as individuals, we are spirit more than we are flesh. So when it comes to trying to figure out how do we move in this environment, you know, we have to get connected with our Creator.
Amen.
And what is the objective of each of us spiritually? You know, what are we here to do in this life, and how does it please our Creator? And being in that kind of a mindset, all while recognizing that we are being faced with more of a cultural crisis, if you will, where we're having to kind of open up the old playbooks as to be self-reliant as Black people in this country. You know, how did we survive and thrive from a socioeconomic perspective prior to integration, but doing it in a way that still adds value to what we're here to do personally. You know, this is a time to dust off those ideas, those passions that we have in our mind that God gave us, and put it to work in a time that we really, truly need it. So I love that message that you're sharing. You, brother, I'm just glad just jump on real quick just to quote unquote co-sign as to everything you guys are sharing this morning.
It's also to suggest that not all of the white people are out to get us.
That's very true. And one thing that we have to recognize now, which is it's kind of similar to, and Donnie, you're the historical context on a lot of this, but this is a time for Black business people, for Black educators, for Black people as a whole to identify who are our allies. Because one, it's important for us to begin to lock arms, move as a cultural unit to strengthen, from a socioeconomic perspective, our communities, our objectives. But at the same time, who are our allies? And this conversation that folks are having right now between should we go to Target or should we go to Costco? That's one objective, is saying, okay, well, sounds like Target is moving away from a DEI perspective, but Costco's leaning in. Who are our allies?
Yeah.
And as we begin to build, one, connect spiritually and understand what our purposes are to do in this life, then we begin to affect those things that are our purpose and connect with everybody else to create more of a collective movement in this from a Black perspective. Then we look at and say, well, who are our allies and how can they add value to Black progress in this country?
And where do we spend our $1.6 trillion annually?
That's right. What I'm going to say. That Black dollar is powerful now.
They don't want our money. All we got to do is, you think of the Montgomery bus boycotts.
It's very interesting. I was listening to Tabitha Brown the other day, and she was talking about, how most of her big box retailer is Target. And so folks, my wife, everybody, they go over there and they buy all of her stuff over there. And then as soon as Target says we're moving away from DEI, then Black will say, well, we're not going to Target anymore. Well, if you don't go to Target, that means you're not buying her stuff.
Maybe she got to move to Costco.
And again, and how easy is that for her to get shelf space at Costco, right? It's not like, oh, I'm with you now. You still have.
If your girl start acting up, then you take her friend.
Yeah, well, I think it's important. It's important.
That is an old lyric.
I know.
For the misogyny got really, really bad at rap music.
No.
I'm just saying we have options.
Right. We do have options, but we also have to understand the process of business, because the truth is, if we stop going to Target, right, and let's just say, well, I'm stopped. I love buying Tabitha stuff, and I'm going to Costco. I'm gonna go look for it. They don't see Tabitha stuff over at Costco. It's like, oh well, I guess I'm just not buying Tabitha. Now Tabitha's numbers are going down at Target.
Oh, Tabitha play a role in this too.
Mm-hmm. What role is that?
Tabitha can set up shop elsewhere. Tabitha, being as though she's getting this attention, can build something that just doesn't. See, it's one thing when you build something for yourself. But I heard a preacher say, you have the Holy Spirit when you help empower others. When Barack Obama became president, it was not supposed to be about just Barack Obama. It was supposed to be about all of us.
Yeah.
This ain't just about Tabitha.
No, understood. But I think it's important, again, let's just talk business, right? Because this is a kind of a combination between, think about this for a second. Wait, hold on a second. You got to realize she's a retailer. So she has a product she's trying to find big box space. So getting a Target contract is the home run. She can go to other places that maybe small.
Gotta be willing to let it go.
And on that note, I would jump in, like we were saying earlier, pivot, right? Like if that's not the motion anymore, and for her to me, it's almost more of a, now everybody say all publicity is good publicity. It's even more to say, hey, Target isn't aligned with my morals anymore, our cultural values as an organization. So we're pulling out. And I bet you them sales gonna skyrocket.
Are you familiar with them bus boycotts where them people walk miles? They carpooled it.
Again, the big point we got to recognize. I like what you said there, though, Brother Clayborn, and from the standpoint of the pivot, the fact that it's all she's getting a lot of clicks on this. Costco and all the other big box stores are paying attention. They know she has a solid base. So if they're doing good business, they can reach out to her and say, hey, listen, I see what's going on.
She has options.
Yeah, that's right. But
let me tell you something.
But this stuff isn't just that quick, right? Because you have to deal with this relationship.
I want you to see the bigger picture. I want to touch on the bigger picture. This current president has pimp slapped Canada. Now, mind you, an individual, Tabitha, I get that. He's disrespected the entire country to our north. That's something that disaffects all Americans, black, white, Asian, Latino. So Tabitha won't be the only pivot that business people find themselves making.
Yeah, I mean, you can even look at tariffs, right? As you talk about increasing the tariffs on country, like and that's why I said my statement that I said on the panel with the Baltimore Business Journal. The organizations that are able to move swiftly, that are able to become more change proof, the ones that are able to, like survive and thrive are going to be because of they are being timely, they're looking at the market, they're staying relevant, and they are daring to do something different.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, and I agree. I think that we have these examples of folks like Tabitha and others. Because one thing she highlighted was, hey, Black folks come out and support all the other, ask for the all Black list of products that are at Target. Increase those numbers. Now you have some folks that I'm done with them altogether. But again, this is the beginning of the process as we begin to say, how do we move economically? How do we move from a socioeconomic perspective to really affect change in economics, but at the same time in communities? What is our approach? And at the end of the day, we want to increase the economic value of Black business owners, which in turn comes back to Black folks who have resources being able to support and champion a lot of these Black issues that are more built around community and social dynamics. So we want to be able to outline what the goals are, but at the same time have a plan as to how we're going to.
Did he freeze up there for a second?
Yeah, he did.
One of the things that is important is leadership.
That part.
We're in a day and time where it's probably a good idea to go back to the history books. Malcolm X's autobiography comes to mind.
That's good.
Malcolm X said that our entertainers are not our leaders.
No.
Now, I love her presentation, Tabitha. And I'm not calling her an entertainer. She's a business person. She did a blog and that's parlayed into business. I get it. But from a broader perspective, people got mad when Snoop and Nelly go over here and perform
at the crypto thing. Rick Ross
Malcolm said our entertainers were never our leaders. And I think right now we may need to redefine who our leaders are. Are they the preachers? People were following T.D. Jakes, and then he got associated with the Diddy party.
Right.
People have lost a lot of faith in church. And then the pandemic hit, churches went online. Right. I see Al Sharpton up there, and I see him being named the civil rights leader. But there are people in the Black community, including in Harlem, who say, come on, Slim. We didn't heard you before. Let somebody else knew. Or, and people may not like hearing it, Mark Morial has been running the National Urban League for 20 years. When you gonna pass the ball?
That's a whole.
It's the conversation because you can't be over there doing you, and then come over here talking about us. That's all I'm saying.
No, and it goes back to, again, and thanks for having me on your panel, Black Wall Street. Where is the succession plan? Where's the mentorship? Who are you training up to take, your spot? Like that's to me what we as a culture, and really it's really a lot of industries, all ethnicities fail with having that succession plan.
Leadership. So now I'm hearing some of our Latino brothers are a little confused. Some may want black people to come over there and advocate for, hey, stop ICE, stop this illegal re-immigration or kicking out of the country. I remember just after that last election, black women were saying, don't ask us for sugar, honey, or iced tea. Because when we came out there, and this is in many ways true, when we put Kamala out there, you were nowhere to be found. So now that you're feeling the ramifications of your vote, you're screaming 911. And black women saying, go on now, go on now. I'm hearing a lot of black women saying we didn't have all these people and y'all abandoned us. Whether it's fair or not fair, that's the perception. And so we need real leaders. And we don't need part-time leaders.
Right.
We don't need entertainment leaders.
Yeah.
I don't need a rapper telling me who to vote for. I've never needed that, ever.
No.
But we need bona fide certified leaders who are committed. Here in Baltimore, there was a group of leaders called the Goon Squad.
Okay.
And when the elections went down, they made sure that the black community was on the same page. And of course, we're talking about all people. I know there's some interesting races coming up in Baltimore County.
Yeah.
Baltimore County is finally getting more people of color interested in politics. And again, we got to have a succession plan. We can move to Harford County, to Carroll County, to Anne Arundel, to Howard County.
Yeah.
But if we don't understand the interrelationship of politics and economics, then we're fooling ourselves. We can show up for the all-white party. We can show up for the Congressional Black Caucus Party. But baby, if you ain't looking at where them dollars going,
right.
Case in point, Key Bridge touches 3 counties, 3 jurisdictions: Baltimore City, Baltimore County, and I think was that Anne Arundel County.
Yep.
Bay Bridge. Do we have any black contractors working on that bridge? Or are we going to buy the hocus pocus that there are no qualified blacks?
Right. So, yeah, man, when we talk about leadership, I was blessed with the opportunity to actually meet Governor Moore. He's a leader. I mean, he is a leader. And like, I was completely, blown away. And I'm a fan, just even from like all the things that he's implemented, now granted in his proposed budget, he actually proposed cutting corporate taxes because he wants Maryland to be more business friendly. Now his proposed budget has to go through the House and the Senate and all that. But like having that time with him, I mean, he is a true leader. But after him, who is he bringing up? Which I don't know. I'm not even in those circles. But, just to, lay that out there. Comment on that one.
The election he's running for re-election in 2026. Most of us know that he wanted Kamala probably not to run.
Right.
And remember, Kamala wasn't elected. She was selected.
Oh, wow. Okay, I didn't realize that.
She didn't go through the Democratic National Convention. She was selected. So she really didn't have a fair chance.
Right.
Biden didn't really campaign for her. We just want to know who's going to take care of Maryland.
Right. Right. That's why I said we got to focus on local and state. That's my word to everybody. Focus on local.
And I tell you one thing I'm proud of with Governor Moore is how he maintained having a Ricky Smith at the airport.
Yes, sir, Doc. Yeah. Yeah. And
That's
across his other leadership
small
roles
town.
too. Yeah.
The airport is a small city.
Mm-hmm. And across other areas of his leadership as well, too.
I do think in as we bring in these young leaders, we cannot forsake the wisdom of the elders.
I agree. I totally agree. Totally agree. And there's a level of, I'm not saying it's not getting done, but there's also a level of competency too. Like, so let's not just pass the torch because maybe we like them or know a family member or owe a favor. Are they the ones that are truly, built and have the capacity and competency for these roles? Because, there's something called unconscious bias. And that's another thing that I use to my advantage being here is that I have no connections here, and I come in with a fresh lens. So I see opportunities that a lot of people don't because of, some, like you say, grew up here, and so like I can come in and see opportunities, but because I'm maybe not a local here or, have that trust yet, or because, hey, there's somebody else in line that I kind of like, these innovative ways to solving some of these issues might not be rapidly presented because of just the lack of representation of newer people that aren't necessarily from here. I'm just throwing that out there.
Well, let me bring you up to speed.
Okay.
We have a black governor.
Yep.
We have a black attorney general.
Yep.
We have a black treasurer.
Yep.
We have a black speaker of the House.
Mm-hmm.
We have the largest black caucus of state legislators in the country.
Wow.
In the city of Baltimore, we've got a black mayor, we got a black comptroller, we got a majority black city council. If all of that political positioning does not translate into the economic empowerment of the community, then it's just window dressing.
I agree.
The second thing I would share with you is that Maryland got its first Republican governor in 2002, the first Republican governor in 36 years.
Wow.
I believe before him it was Spiro T. Agnew. Then came Robert Ehrlich in 2002.
Mm-hmm.
And then it got its second Republican governor in 2014 in Larry Hogan.
Okay.
The black community in those areas you named, Prince George's County, Baltimore City, Northwest Baltimore County, you don't win Maryland without winning those three areas.
Mm.
For the first time, we saw a collective of black people and others vote for a Republican.
Mm.
So although we have the largest black caucus and black people vote heavily Democrat, and this has nothing to do with DC and Donald John Trump, but on the local level, one of the things that people enjoyed under both Ehrlich and Hogan was the empowerment of black businesses. Mm-hmm. The Republicans knew they had to prove themselves worthy to black people.
Mm.
Do the Democrats understand the same math?
Mm.
Do the Democrats understand that Latinos have been put above black people. LGBTQ has been put above black people. All of these other causes have been put above the most loyal, democratic demographic.
That's powerful right there. Wow.
Can't take our vote for granted.
Yeah.
And we need options.
Yeah, I agree. Wow.
We have to make people earn our vote. You have children?
No, not yet.
I have a daughter and 2 granddaughters.
Mm.
And let me tell you, you want the young man that's coming to date your daughter to have something on the ball.
There you go. Yeah.
So we want the person coming to lead our community to have something on the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Not just window dressings.
Yeah.
Not just Instagram shots.
Right.
Tangible results.
Yeah.
So that we can trust you to make sure our daughter is safe, or in this case, our broader community is safe. And we need unapologetic people about that. We can't be fearful to speak truth to power, regardless of who's in office.
Yeah.
Whether it's Ehrlich, whether it's O'Malley, whether it's Hogan, whether it's Westmore, nobody gets a pass.
Mm-hmm.
We can't be afraid to speak truth to power. We can't just reflect on Martin Luther King one day a year.
Yeah.
Who's got that testicular fortitude to stand up for us? We've seen people come through with the dog and pony shows. Yet when I look at West Baltimore, I look at East Baltimore, and Westmore did just drop $28 million on West North Avenue.
Yeah, I saw
and
that.
This builds on efforts that have been put in by previous governors. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying that with this new cadre of younger leadership, we need both the legs of the young people, but the wisdom of the elders.
I agree. Yeah.
Go ahead and take a time, man, to take a moment and invite people to join your chamber. I'm gonna give you the full screen. Do your thing.
Oh man, appreciate it, Donnie. Well, if you're a business owner, new, senior, tenured, or if you are a government contractor, the Central Maryland Chamber is here for you. We are the only chamber for Fort Meade, which is the largest employer for the state of Maryland. And so whether you're looking to grow professionally, we have different professional development opportunities. Whether you are looking to enhance your employee retention, we have HR experts in different programs that can help enhance your employee retention. The Central Maryland Chamber is for you. So if you're doing business across the Baltimore, Washington, Virginia corridor, we are your chamber. The only regional chamber covers 7 counties plus Baltimore City. So come here, come with your Central Maryland Chamber of Commerce.
And also, you want to tell them about you have an upcoming political forum?
Yeah, and so if you are in Prince George's County, we have a Meet the Candidates on February 20th in Lanham at the House of Comedy and Jazz. Oh, that's a Black-owned business. We have a Meet the Candidates where you can come out, meet the candidates that are running for county executive. It's such an important race. You know, early voting starts, I believe, on February 27th. So we strategically hosted that event 7 days before on February 20th. So come on out. And you can find all these great events on www.centralmarylandchamber.org.
Have you got any confirmations?
I got really really about, because man, there's probably like 8 to 10 people running.
But we're looking at the front runners. We know it's Aisha Brave Boy. We know it's Calvin Hawkins out there. I think Jolene Ivy's in the race.
Yeah. So a lot of them have already confirmed. So they've already confirmed. We've invited them a while ago. And I told them, this isn't debate style. This is more relaxed. Other organizations are doing that debate style. You know, I'm not knocking that. This is more so like, we want them to come. We want them to network, meet the people, and then we'll give them a minute or two and say why they're fit to be county executive.
Well, you
So
the
we got
money
a whole
man.
different model.
I understand that Aisha has more money than the others. Is that true? You haven't seen that news story?
I haven't looked at it.
All right. Let
Yeah,
me not drag.
I haven't checked that
Let me
out.
not drag you into
Yeah,
that.
yeah, man. Come on, man. I'm neutral. I'm neutral here.
That's right. We don't want you to lose your know. We don't want Donald John's people come looking for you. I hope you enjoyed, and we do also look forward to seeing you on February 22nd. Maybe Byron runs Byron runs Engage, this company right here.
Okay.
Engage Wealth, Dreammakers. So maybe you can look him up, dreammakersnetwork.org.
Nice.
He's a regular here, a big time supporter of us. And I'm all for Tabitha. I love Tabitha.
Yeah, yeah.
I love what she stands for. But this isn't about any one person. It's about the collective us. How can we get the maximum benefit?
I agree.
I don't know her. I know these businesses around here though.
Yeah. Right.
So we have an obligation. You were raised. I know if you're from Little Rock, to whom much is given, what?
Much is required.
Oh, we got to get back to those things because we're so new now and we've been flooded with social media.
Yeah.
We don't know what the hell we believe in no more.
Right.
I'm from the old school, Harriet Tubman. You know why Harriet Tubman carried that Colt 45? Because not everybody believed to whom much is given, much is required.
Yeah.
We've forgotten the stories that our ancestors in many cases had to learn to read by candlelight.
Wow.
Because it was illegal for a person of color to learn how to read. So when I hear our people saying, "Oh, not everybody made for college," it sickens me to my core because you're negating our true power as a people, as if a degree is that complicated. Because this is what I know: when a young boy gets sent over to jail, do you know what a part of his curriculum is? You're going to class.
Yeah, you read it.
Why do you got to get locked up to go to class when you can go to class now? And what young man who likes girls wouldn't want to be on a college campus? Have you lost your mind?
Best time of my life.
Okay. Booze.
I know. Hey, I feel you though. Hey, I love it. I love your passion, my brother. I do. Like that's great. And it's
if we don't turn our assets, our education, our money, our property, we're paying $1,400 a month rent. That's the equivalent of what, bro?
Mortgage. Assets.
What, a couple more grand for a down payment?
Right.
Okay, $5,000 for a down. We're going into debt for a car.
Right.
How many of us got a Benz out front and an apartment?
Right. Man, that's a whole nother. That's what we talked about earlier, keeping up with the Joneses. Or at least trying to.
Dewan, you can't let this be the last time coming on.
I will. Please welcome me back. You know, hopefully we get Raven reviews. Send me the link so I can share it. And man, thank you again, Doni. And looking forward to February 8th and any other type of event you want to include me in. Happy to serve.
Good deal. Good morning, world.